Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'd like to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the chapters 15 and 16 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I need to tell you a little bit about our next set of chapter activities for chapters 17 and 18. Alright, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 15 and 16 activities this morning. Go ahead and look at your grades for those activities as soon as you can and read the grading comments and let me know if you have any questions. Most of you did well on the chapters 15 and 16 assignment, but I did notice that some of you had some difficulty with the problem where you had to do some calculations. I believe it was question 5 on the assignment. And so for that question, what I did was I provided you in the grading comments with the correct answers to those questions. I think it was, if I remember correctly, you had to calculate M1 and M2 money, and it gave you some of the numerical values that you needed to do the calculations. Some of you did that correctly, some of you didn't, but like I said, I gave you the correct answers. Also on that question, as long as you tried to answer the question and you showed your calculations, I gave you at least some credit for it. If you did not show your calculations at all, you just gave me the calculated values and they were incorrect, then I didn't give you any credit at all for that. So make sure that when it says, and it does say on the assignment, to show your calculations on the questions where you have to do calculations, make sure you actually show your calculations, because even if you get the questions incorrect, even if you answer those incorrectly, you'll still get at least some points if you at least showed your calculations on it, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Most of you did show your calculations, but like I said, on the questions that you missed, I tried to give you very specific grading comments as to why I had to count points off, and also on any questions where there were definitive answers, like on calculating M1 and M2 money, I tried to give you the correct answers for those, and actually also how to go about calculating those as well. So look over that. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Like I said, overall, most of you did well on the assignment, with just those few exceptions that I talked about. The chapters 15 and 16 discussion that dealt with the production of the penny and the nickel, I thought that went very well. Everyone gave some really good information on that, some good alternatives to continuing to produce the penny and the nickel. There are several alternatives that we talked about, and I really appreciate everyone's participation on the discussion, so keep up the good work on that. And the chapters 15 and 16 test, most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date. Your highest grade is automatically recorded. Also keep in mind that I will be opening up those chapter tests to allow you to study for the final exam, which we'll have coming up in just a few weeks here. So it's going to be coming up here pretty soon. So just kind of remember that for the remaining chapter test. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of chapter activities. So if you'll notice on the activities page, right now we're on the beginning portion of week 11 of the semester, okay? And we just had work due last night, so we don't have anything else due this week, but you should be working on the next set of chapter activities for chapters 17 and 18, which are due the middle of next week, specifically Wednesday, November 5th. So you've got just a little over a week to be working on chapters 17 and 18, and get those submitted. Okay. Chapter 17, by the way, covers monetary policy. In chapter 17, you're going to learn about demand for and supply of money, how interest rates affect demand for money, how the supply of money affects interest rates, how the Federal Reserve manipulates the money supply to affect interest rates and manage economic fluctuations. Also in chapter 17, you'll learn about foreign exchange, the quantity theory of money, and then finally at the very end of the chapter, you'll learn about the targets that are used for monetary policy. All right, so that's chapter 17. Then chapter 18 goes in and talks about active versus passive approaches to managing the economy. Also the types of lags that can occur when implementing a particular policy, how expectations affect economic policy. You'll also learn about something called the Phillips curve, which is basically a way to kind of relate the unemployment rate to the inflation rate, or the interest rate. Then finally in chapter 18, you'll learn about what's called the natural rate hypothesis. All right? And so those are the topics that will be covered in chapter 17 and 18. So remember the resources you have. You have your textbook, you have your PowerPoint slides on the assignment page there under week 12 of the activities page. You also have the videos on the assignment page that I've linked for you. So just make sure you're using all those resources. I think most of you are. I think there are a few of you that probably need to spend more time going through those resources. It would really help you a lot on especially on the assignment, but also on the other activities as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. But that's really all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime late next week. Thank you.